Okay, it's about the third time I've tried to film this thing, so maybe I'll get it right this time. Here's my fish for you. I'll try to zoom in and show you stuff that I did. Here's the, see if I can pick up the scales for you. Each one is individually carved. You guys have seen it on Facebook. I got the water on there. You can see the fishing line like that. There's the water droplet on the line coming out. Water's taking the line and run it down along through there. Here's the fin, pectoral fin. You can see light through that thing. You guys saw the Facebook video or Facebook pictures. There's his battle scars on his gill plate. That's his pelvic fin. There's a guy's hand. I think I got a little water droplet there. I think I got a little water droplet up on the top there. Even got hair on his arm for you. So this is called first catch, because you normally wouldn't pick up a fish that way. You don't want to bruise him or collapse his air sac or otherwise endanger the fish if you were going to release him again, so you would cradle him under the body. But this guy's just caught this fish. He's pretty proud of it. It's fast moving water. It's his first catch. And you might want to keep this fish, you know, maybe he's going to go ahead and keep it and eviscerate it, gut it, whatever, cook it up. But he's pretty happy with it. I'm pretty happy with it. So every rock is hand carved, hand painted. Each rock takes about an hour to carve and to paint. There's a leaf on there I'm pretty proud of. It got caught in the current and plastered against that rock. There's some more rocks. You can see through the water there. Another leaf right there. I was tempted to carve a fossil into one of these rocks, because almost every time I go fishing in southern Minnesota, over by Preston, I can find a fossil in a piece of limestone. Anyway, here's his eye. That's not a glass eye, that's all hand painted. The only thing I didn't make in this entire thing is that Royal Coachman fly. And I probably could have made that thing if I put my mind to it, but I just got tired of working on it. Anyway, here's the water all piled up. The current's coming against him. The guy's lifting him out of the water. As long as you keep, generally, I've noticed, as long as you keep your trout in the water so he can feel the water across his body, he'll keep his fins out. So this guy is taking a picture of his fish. He's pretty proud of it. And he hasn't quite pulled the fish out of the water yet. Here's the, I'm pretty proud of that. If you look at these, at the scales, I've got them to where as you turn, depending on how you look at it, you'll catch a glimpse of the shimmer on the fish. And what's so cool about these fish scales is the fish scales on a trout are translucent. You can see through them. But they've got a texture to them that's similar. If you put one under a microscope, that's as close as I can get that guy. That one in the middle, right? Let's see, right there. You can kind of see the scallops on him. But the neat thing about these trout, and probably most every scale, but especially a trout scale, is they're beveled like a dragon scale would, or if you can ever remember watching a dragon show on TV. Those things are beveled, and then the top sides of them are rippled like a prism. And what's so cool about that is, as that trout grows his scale, they typically don't have any scales until they're 1 year old. But as he grows his scale, the cuticle that's attached to the fish is the only thing with a little bit of color. So it grows out, and as it grows out, it gets a ring, kind of like a tree ring, a growth ring. And each time it gets a growth ring, it gets a ridge on it. And what that ridge does is it causes the scale to be like a prism. Now, that prism will reflect light, or retract light, or refract light, depending on what that trout's going through at the minute. So these guys get frightened or they get aggressive, they can change the color density of their skin. So if they're aggressive, they can get real dark, so they look bigger and meaner. If they're frightened, they can get real light, so they look, threatening and can move away. But they can change the depth of color in their skin, and then that reflects, or it gets intensified through that prism. And every one, I tried to capture with this thing, if you look down the fish's body here, I'll try to turn it, you can see he's got a kind of a dent in him where that guy's picking him up. So you can see where it would probably hurt this fish to pick him up that way. But his scales also follow that. You can see the pattern of the scales. These things are made to overlap so that whether the fish is being, bending in the water one way or the other, in or out, that scale always covers the one in front of it or the one behind it in the overlap. You can see the silver, and then when I turn over here, you don't see the silver as greatly. I tried to capture as much realism as I could in the fingernail here. Got a little water coming up. He stuck his hand in the water to pick this up. The fish has been brought up to the surface and he quick grabbed it. So his whole hand isn't wet, just where he's holding the fish. There's some more water on there. So that's my fish. I'm pretty happy with it. He sticks out from the frame a little bit. The wood, if you're wondering, is a hackberry frame, hackberry wood. They're kind of a thorny wood, but they sure have a pretty grain. I made the frame also. So I'm pretty happy with it. And everybody's been supporting me on Facebook. I really appreciate it. I've never done this. This is the sixth fish I've carved, the 7th item I've carved, by hand with a chisel. So I'm pretty excited, and I'm looking forward to doing the next one. So thanks a lot. Feel free to tear it apart, criticize it. I don't care. I made it. I'm happy with it, and I hope you like it. Thanks.